Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into cosmetology. And we're really focusing on Toni's experience. She's a cosmetologist and also an instructor. So we want to kind of get to the heart of, what she's learned and give our listeners, I guess, a quick but really thorough look at what matters in this field.
Yeah, it's so interesting, when you have someone like Tony who is both practicing, like actually doing the work and teaching, it just gives them such a unique perspective, I guess you could say.
Totally.
They're really able to see trends as they emerge. They get a sense of what skills are truly fundamental and how those skills need to adapt as the industry changes.
Absolutely. It's not just about like doing hair or nails, right? She's
No.
shaping the next generation of cosmetologists. So for
I know.
anyone listening who's trying to like really wrap their head around this world, this is like a direct line to, practical and very relevant knowledge.
Absolutely. So thinking about those trends, Tony's probably right there on the cutting edge, see what's hot, what's not. Um, have you noticed anything specific, maybe in terms of client demand that really pops out because of her unique position, both doing and teaching?
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that comes to mind is just this increasing demand for specialization.
Okay.
Like, as
Yeah.
an instructor, she's seeing firsthand what her students are gravitating toward. What are they most excited to learn?
Yeah.
And it seems like it's all these very specific techniques. Intricate nail art is huge right now. Also, like specific hair coloring techniques that are really trending.
Hmm.
And, that directly reflects what clients are booking appointments for these days.
That makes total sense. And also, I'd imagine from a teaching perspective, she would have a really strong understanding of the foundational skills that students need to have before they can even like jump into those really trendy specialized services.
Mhm.
It's like striking a balance between what's current and what's always going to be important.
Exactly. She'd be able to tell you, okay, this is what you're seeing all over Instagram right now, but this is also what you need to know fundamentally as a cosmetologist to actually create those looks and create them well and create them consistently.
Right, right.
Think about something like hair extensions.
Sure.
I mean, so popular, everyone wants them, but it requires a real depth of knowledge about hair types, about application techniques.
Oh, for sure.
And that's where her experience, both as a stylist and an instructor, is so valuable. She's probably seen it all, like all the mistakes that can happen, especially when someone's just starting out. Or even, just those clients who are unhappy because something wasn't done quite right. So her teaching would naturally focus on preventing those kinds of issues in the first place.
Right. Get ahead of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess a big takeaway here is that Tony's perspective really bridges the gap between, what's trendy, what's hot right now, and those skills that will always be relevant no matter what. She understands what's driving the industry, but also what it takes to actually build a career in cosmetology that's going to last.
Absolutely. A long-term view. And for anyone listening who wants to, really dig into those practical things, the ones that Tony has, there's actually a really direct way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in connecting with Tony and learning more about, everything she has to offer, just go to www.tonylove.com. You'll find more information there.
Perfect. And I think, this deep dive, it really raises an interesting question. How important is it to seek out those experts
Hmm.
who are not just, doing the work, but also teaching it? Are we missing opportunities by not engaging directly with that kind of knowledge?
Really something to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.